You just said there's no pressure on this team. Is that kind of how you're approaching it?
Yeah, I don't think there are a lot of expectations for our team at this point, which I think can definitely play to our advantage because we really have nothing to lose at this point and we're really able to play free, and I think that's going to help our young squad this year.
Specifically being picked last in the coaches poll in the Pac-12, is that something that motivates you? Is that something that motivates your teammates?
It's a little disappointing, but at the same time I think that it really just gives us the opportunity to see what we're made of and see how well we can compete and match up against our tough opponents in the Pac-12.
Last few months there's been, some outside noise, social media, former players and parents and everyone kind of having these discussions about what's been going on out here. How have you guys been, just as a team, trying to avoid those conversations, in the locker room and the dugout when you guys come out here?
What happens off the field stays off the field. I think that's a great quality of our team, is that once we're on the field, we're able to focus on what we're doing with softball. And there is a lot of outside noise that is kind of hard to ignore sometimes, but I think that by keeping that off the field, it's really going to allow us to maximize our team's potential this year. And we just need to make sure that we keep it out of the locker room and we keep it off the field.
Do you feel that everyone who's still here is fully committed and bought in?
Yes, at this point I do.
Based on your success last year, and just kind of the way you're a veteran now in this lineup and you got some young players, do you expect to be pitched a lot different this year than you did last year?
I think, honestly, because I have more scouting footage, that I will be pitched a little bit differently, I would assume. But I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't think I will be pitched around because I think we have a very explosive lineup, and I think that whoever is behind me or in front of me will have my back.
Yeah, how hard is it to say some of these things as far as the expectations and whatnot? I mean, is it hard to wrap your head around? I mean, I'm sure 6 months ago nobody's thinking in these terms, so how difficult has it been for you on just an emotional level that you actually have to come to grips with this?
It's a big adjustment from last year, especially going from the top pretty much to the expected to be the bottom. I don't think we will be, but I think it's definitely a change in mindset, and I had to step into a leadership role this year, which, coming from a team of All-Americans, I was not expecting this year. I was just going to keep my head down and keep playing, but being thrown into this leadership role has really been a life-changing experience, and I am really thankful for it, and I'm excited for the new challenge.
We've had a lot of time hitting against the two lefties, and I know you got a righty too now, but have you had much time in practice hitting against them, and how would you evaluate them as pitchers?
I think they're great additions to our team. I think that when they get ahead, they're really successful, and I think their movement and their change of speeds will be really effective this year.
We've heard a lot about Jordan Dale's curveball. What's your experience been with that so far?
It's pretty dirty. I think she'll be really successful with that pitch if she keeps it off the plate and gets it consistent with her changeup. I think it'll be a really good combo.
What has Coach Lombardi been like through all of this? Obviously, it's her first head coaching job, and I'm sure it's been difficult for her to deal with some of these things. But what's her demeanor been like with the team throughout all of this?
She always comes to practice and gives 110%, no matter what's going on that day, no matter who's talking. She will always come out, and she's very consistent, and she will always give her best. And she's been very supportive of the people who are still here and the people who have left. So she's been a consistent figure for us, which has been really helpful.
Is this one, these last three departures, any more frustrating just because of the timing? I mean, obviously Maggie leaves just before the get-together trip there, and then right after that, Alexis and Mia. Is this a bit more frustrating for you?
It was a bit disappointing and unexpected, but I wish them nothing but success in their future endeavors, and I'm grateful for everything they contributed to our program. And right now we just need to focus on what we can do as a program to move forward and to maximize what we have left.
What are your thoughts on these first 5 games, comparing it to the rest of non-conference?
I think that it'll be interesting to see how we mesh as a program and how we match up. And I think this weekend's all about getting over the nerves, because we have a lot of young and new players who are excited but probably a little bit nervous. So I think this week's really finding out what we're made of.
And what has your advice been to the young players getting into their first collegiate action?
We have nothing to lose at this point. I think that they have the ability to go out and just play the game they love, and I think that will help ease their nerves a little bit this weekend.
You mentioned stepping into a different role. Kind of, what have you learned about yourself and maybe your teammates through kind of this process?
I'm usually a leader by example, so I've had to change that up a little bit. I've had to be a little bit more vocal this year than I'm used to, and a little more confrontational, I would say. So it's been a little bit different leadership experience for me, but it has honestly helped me a lot outside of softball too.
On the field, that includes on the field, but now you're going to have to command the outfield from a different perspective. Just what has that change been like for you, and what's the communication been like with the people to your left and right?
I've been working really well with the seniors especially. They've helped step into this leadership role a little bit more because they've also been thrown into the same role. So it's been helpful to be able to communicate with them and for them to help me communicate better, because I am not the most vocal person on the field, but I will do my best this year to change that.
It seems like the easy thing for you to have done is to join the other 9 and leaving. Can you kind of explain why you did not do that and you were still here?
I love everything about Oregon, and to me, Oregon is so much more than just softball. It's my teammates, it's the fans, it's the opportunities that I have outside of softball that really kept me here, and I'm really excited to fight for this program and to continue to build up what past players like Jerry and Glasgow left.
Do you feel like it's fair to judge this team by what happens early on? Do you kind of have to take the long-term view with so many new players, or do you feel like you guys are ready to go out day one and compete?
I think we're ready to go out and compete. I think that there's going to be a lot of speculation based on our first few games, but I think that we need to keep a long-term goal in mind because, you know, it's a long season and you never know what's going to happen. So I think that if we go out and just play one game at a time and keep the big picture in mind, that'll be how we're going to be successful this year.
It's a sport where you see a lot of players, no matter how good or bad their teams are, they're always out on the field, look like they're pretty happy. It's a sport where joy has to be a pretty big part of it. I imagine that joy's been pretty hard to come by around here. Can you play angry? Do you personally want this team to play at times angry, just from how things have unfolded?
I don't think we're going to be playing angry this year, but I think we are going to be playing with something to prove. I think that we do have a lot of fun on the field despite everything that has happened, and our team chemistry is at an all-time high right now. So I think that we can play free and have fun, but also at the same time play with a little chip on our shoulder and something to prove.